the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week. And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua. And today's question is: how can improving your English communication skills transform any professional career? Maybe medical professional career, but any career. How can it transform? I mean, this is probably a question that most people would feel is a common question or like a self-explained question, but really I feel like it goes deeper than that. And our guest for today is the perfect person to answer that question. Devon Bruce is the founder of the English Communication Academy. Since 2020, her groundbreaking academy has helped many non native English speaking doctors communicate effectively with their patients, colleagues, and staff. She will speak at the 14th World Haircare Conference in Dubai next month. Congratulations, by the way, and is writing a
Thank you.
book based on her popular newsletter Frustrated to Fluent. I love that title. We need to talk about that. Her
Thank you.
remarkable contributions have earned her two coveted awards on LinkedIn, one being named Top Voice for Interpersonal Communications, and another being named a top 250 plus rising star and upcoming influencer to watch. And today she is going to be sharing her insights, her influence, and her mission for this world. Thank you for coming on the show, Devon. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be
I mean, I feel the excitement. I'm quite excited myself because this is something that's very close to my heart. I'm very, very passionate about English communication as well. I'm a non native English speaker myself, but I
here.
really,
Okay.
really put in the time to, to learn it, to get better at it. And because I
Mhm.
believe in the potential it gives, the advantages that it gives to a lot of people. And
Mhm.
there's always this for non-native English speakers, it actually gives them more confidence, and I truly, truly believe in it. That is why I
Absolutely.
love what you do. Your
Thank
academy
you.
is what that is actually that what does for English non-native English speaking doctors. But
Mhm.
before we really start getting into this, Devin, where did this all begin? What is this background story? What, as a child, did you know you were always going to teach English? Were you a non-native English speaker? What is the story of Devin Bruce?
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your show. I just
Mhm.
personally wanted to tell you that. So thank you for the opportunity for me
Thank
to
you.
speak today. I should say my villain story because we all have that villain origin story.
Let's call it origin story. No villain, nothing like just origin
Okay,
story.
just joking. Yeah, I was just joking. But anyway, in regards to my origin story, I did not have any plans on doing this. I actually was in corporate at Geico. It's a car insurance company here in the
Right,
States.
right.
I'm from America, born and raised here. Both
Mhm,
generations of my parents are from here as well. Um,
mhm,
so yeah, I'm just from America. But anyway, in 2016, my young daughter at the time needed to
mhm,
be homeschooled. And
mhm.
so I made the crazy decision at the time to quit my corporate job and teach her at home because she really needed to be homeschooled. And
Okay.
so anyway, I knew I had to work from home. And so I honestly just put my hands up to God and I was like, okay, God, I don't care what I do as long as it's fun, it's rewarding, I can
Right,
pay my portion of the bills because at the time I was still married. And
right.
so that's all I cared about. And then that's how I fell into teaching English as a second language. I got my certification and then I just began to teach the language online.
Mhm.
Well, between 2016 and 2020, I came across a lot of doctors and I kept hearing the same thing over and over again. Like, I know English already. I'm fluent. This is wasting my time. I need advanced communication skills. I need critical thinking skills. And for the doctors, they took this very seriously compared to other groups. And
Yes.
I could also feel and sense the internal strife guilt and shame that it had
Yes.
on them that they
Mhm.
needed help with their English.
Yes.
So anyway, in 2020, I decided to take the plunge and start my business solving that problem for them. So in
Mhm.
2020, I became a coach. I created an online, like a 10-week program, and
Mhm.
I did individual coaching with the doctors. And
Mhm.
then I scaled to group coaching, and then I scaled to a membership program. And
Wow.
then now I'm currently scaling again to a fully functional online academy with staff, extra support, extra resources. That way I can help many more people,
Wow.
not just doctors, but also other people in healthcare as well.
Wow, I mean, I love the journey that you went through, and you specifically targeted a niche that feels like really needs it. Not just feels like they really need it, but actually respects, respects the advantages, or not really just even the advantages, the advantage it gives to their patients, not just for them, right? Because it's a
Yes,
life or death situation, and a
it is.
misunderstanding, a mistake on a word here, and a few phrases there, it
Mhm.
could mean life or death. And I love that
Right.
you were able to recognize this right away and knew that you could bring in value into there. Of course,
Thank you.
that was allowed that experience, of course, with the medical professionals, and they were very passionate about it. This allowed you to shape your vision, which is now English
Mhm.
Communication Academy. You focus
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
helping medical professionals who struggle with English. What are some
Yes.
of the common challenges that these professionals face? One of the ones that you
Yes.
continuously face, and how does your academy address them differently than the rest of traditional language programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the biggest arc I could say is definitely confidence, and that's very subjective depending on the person. But that's the underlying key. They just don't have confidence to speak in the way that they want. And the way that we are different from a lot of other language learning companies out there is that we focus on the things that are not learned in a
Right,
textbook. We focus
right,
on the nuances that are absolutely essential to
right,
communicate effectively. So, for example, I have a member. They are from a different country. They live in America now, and they were having issues with their bedside manner, and they could not understand why they were having so many issues with their bedside manner. And
right.
so they started working with us, and then and also it was causing a lot of stress for him. It was keeping him up at night, literally. But
Hmm.
anyway, once he learned that we use our voice for clarity in English,
Hmm.
so for
Hmm.
example, in English, we can say the same sentence 5 different ways and
Yeah,
have 5 different meanings. Well, in his native language, it wasn't like that. It's not like that. They don't use
wow.
their voice for clarity. So
Hmm.
once he started learning, oh, my delivery of my English is key, that's when
Yeah,
it started to change his relationship with his staff, with his patients, because he was
interesting,
able to understand those nuances. So that
interesting.
helped him gain confidence. So
Right,
those are the types of things that we work on because again, they already know English. This
right.
is for people who need to take their English to the next level and focus on those nuances that like make or break their English.
I love that. From what's the term? From what country was this? Where was he from?
Oh, sure. So he was from Saudi Arabia, and so
Saudi
he was a native
Arabia.
Arabic speaker. And
Right.
so in their language, they don't use their voice for clarity at all. I take that
Yeah.
back a little bit, but not like in English, where it can completely change the meaning.
Right. Okay. 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 I love that. First of all, um, it's different. It's different. The tone, the intonations, the delivery. It's all different,
Mhm.
whichever part of the world you are, what country you are, what culture you've. But English is universal, and I think that's why it makes it
Mhm.
really, really important to learn, for everyone to learn. Like something like 90% of literature in the world is written in English, right?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
alone makes it so crucial, not just as a professional, but I feel like just as a civilian, because knowing that, the language in itself is already an advantage,
Mhm.
but another way to deliver it is another thing. You like the
Yeah.
delivering it, the tone is another thing, and which I believe is what you do, because you address the confidence part of it. And
Yes.
from where I am, or from where I was, it's like we are good English speakers. We're non-native
Mhm.
English speakers, but the majority of the population can speak English. But there's always this there's always this sense of like, I don't want to be so good at English because I don't want to be,
Mhm.
I'm not that confident. But it's really, I feel
Yeah.
like it's the other way around. If you are good at English, you actually gain more confidence. And
Mhm.
you told me a really nice, impactful story that you shared just now. Can you share another success story of a medical
Yes.
professional who significantly improved their career after joining your
Yes.
academy? We love stories on this. Please tell us. Please tell us more.
Absolutely. I would say this is one of my favorites because it really helped me understand the impact of what we're doing. So I have another member. She lives in the UK. She's from, I forgot what country she's from. Either
Mhm.
India or Sri Lanka. I think
Okay.
she's from Sri Lanka. Anyway, she lives in the UK and she is a pediatric doctor who works with
Oh,
newborn babies who are in the
oh,
NICU.
oh my.
Yeah, very
Very,
stressful.
very stressful, very crucial, very sensitive. You cannot get anything wrong.
Right. And
Mhm.
so she reached out because she was on the brink of losing her job because her communication was causing stress not only to herself but to her patients. She just did not have the confidence and it was causing her a great deal of strife. So anyway, started working with her. Her biggest thing was confidence, not having the confidence to tell her patients about their potentially dying babies as a non-native English speaker. And so one of the things that we worked with her was on her tone, the pacing as well. Pacing is so important because if you
Mhm.
speak too fast, you're not going to sound clear. Or if you
Right.
speak too slowly, the
Mhm.
comprehension is going to go down. So we worked with pacing a lot with her.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay.
once she started gaining that confidence, and one of the ways that we did that was through role playing. So
Mhm.
she was the doctor, and then she was then other people were like the patients, or like the parent of the patient, I should say.
Mhm. Mhm.
So anyway, the best compliment I have ever received in the years that I've been doing it is she said, Devin, I really want to thank you. Because of you, I'm able to sleep at night now. And at that time, I didn't really understand what that meant. So I asked her
Mhm.
to elaborate. And she
Okay.
said, because of the skills that I'm learning, I am now a better doctor. And I'm now
Wow.
able to sleep because my stress level has gone down. I now
Wow.
have the skills to talk to my patients about these very difficult
Very, very.
conversations. And so it's like, so when I like tell people what I do and they're, native English speakers, sometimes they're like, oh, well, what's the big deal? It's just English. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not
Bro.
just English.
I'm
It
sorry.
changes people's lives. Like,
Exactly.
it runs
Excuse
way
me.
deeper than that.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, of course, if you say it to native English speakers, it's taken for granted. It's easy to take it for granted, right?
It
Because
is, yeah. I agree with you.
you grew up with it. It's so natural to you. But you're talking about people in very, very crucial roles, like
Mhm.
Niku, uh, uh, newborn units. I mean, come on. Like, I love how you said that her stress levels completely went down. She got to be more relaxed because, again, these medical professionals take it seriously. Of course, I mean,
Very.
they do not want to make those mistakes, especially
Mhm.
to a newborn child. And I understand, of course, I can only imagine the stress level, right? The stress level that
Mhm.
they've had to go through because they weren't able to communicate it. And at the end of the day, it's about that. It's
Right.
about communicating it effectively so there's no misunderstanding, there's no errors that
Mhm.
being made. And again, I love that you're delivering this confidence to a very, very, very crucial role in society. Of
Thank
course,
you.
you've also are experiencing some success in your endeavor today. You have your upcoming book and your
Yes,
speaking
I'm so excited
engagement.
about that.
Yes, yes, we'll talk about that in a bit. Right now, you have your speaking engagement as well coming up at the 14th World Healthcare Conference in Dubai.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about that. How does that feel, and how much of a validation does that, just that tell you about what you're doing?
Well, I'm very excited to speak at this International Healthcare Conference. I will be presenting on how to communicate effectively across different cultures in a medical setting, because cultural differences can also be a key role in communicating effectively in English when everybody's speaking English. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, how to navigate those challenging waters when you're talking to other people of different cultures. But I'm very excited to talk about this because these are the types of things that are so crucial that no one's talking about. The idea of speaking English in a healthcare setting. So I'm excited to just get it out there and breaking the stigma and the taboo about it. Because, for me, having a doctor realizing that they need help is hard. But to have a doctor realize that they need help with their English, that is next level challenging, because there's a lot of guilt, there's a lot of shame, the stigma is real, they feel like a failure. There's a lot more things that's going on in the background than just I need help with my English. So anyway, to answer your question, I'm very excited to start breaking that taboo and saying it's okay to talk about these things. If you need help with your English, that doesn't mean you're a bad doctor or nurse, because I'm expanding to nurses now. That just means that you're human. And it's okay to receive help. I'm beyond excited.
I mean, I love that. You're human. We all just need this little bit of, just a little bit of help, especially those who want to help, right? You want to help them as well. And you are, of course, the hero that comes into that situation, into that scenario, and you deserve all the validations that is coming your way, including your upcoming book. I love the title, by the way, Frustrated to Fluent. Talk to us a little bit about that. I can understand you shared a little bit about the frustration aspect of it. Do you share a little bit more about that, and what you would love the readers to take away from this new book?
Sure. So, my book is called Frustrated to Fluent, A Guide to English Mastery, and it's for people who are already fluent, but they feel stuck. They don't know how to take their English to the next level. And the reason why that I decided to write this book is because I did create a method to help people navigate those waters quickly and efficiently. It doesn't take very long to elevate your English if you know exactly what you're doing. So it's based off of a method that I've created. And to briefly talk about it, when you think about your English, it's like a house. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they built their houses incorrectly. So their foundation is poor and it's decrepit, and it's their English house is a hot mess. So there are very specific things that you need in order to get to speaking fluently with confidence. The very first thing that you need to do is focus on your clarity. That's the foundation of the house. It doesn't matter how fluent you are, how confident you are, how smart you are. If people cannot understand what you're saying, it does not matter, period. So clarity is the first part. That's the foundation. The second part is fluency and fluidity. That's the structure, building the walls. Because again, people fluent, but not necessarily fluid. That's another thing that we really focus on in the academy. We focus on fluidity. The difference between fluency and fluidity is that fluency, that means you can speak the language, right? You can watch that movie on Netflix, you can have that conversation, but fluidity is speaking with, like, having the right pacing, not saying ums and not having to translate in your head first and then speak, and then causing your English to be very choppy. So in that second part of the house, we focus on key skills to build the fluency and fluidity aspects. And then finally, when we get to the third pillar of the house, that's when you can start decorating with the fancy artwork and the amazing electronics and really making it your own. Because a lot of times people are like, well, Devon, I just want to sound confident. Okay, that's great, but you can't be confident if you're not fluid in your English first. So then at that last pillar, we can start focusing on the confidence aspect, which is focused more on giving presentations and putting yourself out there. to give yourself opportunities to speak.
I love that.
So yeah, that's what my book is essentially about, and it's geared towards any business professional who wants to elevate their English. That way, they can thrive in their careers.
I love how you pointed that out. It's not just medical professionals, business professionals, anybody really in any walks of life, in any type of
Yes.
business. The entrepreneurs and the audience, this is business owners that we have on this show, they would love that because I love how you put it all together. Clarity first, because people need to
Mhm.
understand you. Create a structure around you with fluency and being, being fluent basically, and allowing
Mhm.
them to create that foundation to present, to become, to speak
Yes.
in public speaking. And I think that is such a gift for a lot of people, having that confidence to be able to speak to a crowd, to anybody really, not just
Yeah.
even just a crowd of 6 people, a crowd of three
Right.
people why not? It's just a confidence that you know what you're talking about, and that what you're talking about is clear and has value. In fact, there's a lot of things that we can say that we know has value, but if we aren't able to say it with clarity,
Exactly. Yep.
that's where we kind of lose it. And you are giving that confidence to a lot of people today, and I love it. I love that mission of yours.
Thank you.
um Devon, you are, again, you I love the energy, the enthusiasm, the what you're doing with a
Thank you.
lot of with what you're doing to sharing the world today. I want to ask about the future. What are the future trends you see with the intersection of language learning and medical communication? Not medical communication, maybe business communication. How do you
Mhm.
see that kind of delving in together? And how do you see
Mhm.
yourself in the future? Do you also have any future aspirations? What is the future for Devon Bruce?
Thank you. That's a great question. Well, I know that this will always be an issue of sorts because English truly is the world's language. Regardless of what people agree or disagree,
Hmm.
English gives you access to opportunities. Doesn't matter
Hmm.
what field you're in. And
Right.
there are a lot of misconceptions and myths that are out there that it is my mission to demystify or clear up. Things like if I speak faster, then I sound more fluent. That is 1,000% wrong. Or I'm also very big on accent. A lot of people sometimes
Right.
come to me and they're like, I want to get rid of my accent. And I no, it's like you can speak clearly and have an accent because your accent is not the problem. Clarity is the issue.
Yep.
And so just putting those things out there. So in regards to the future, that's just going to become more and more prevalent as English continues to be the world's language. And also
Yes.
because of technology, especially with AI and things like that, the workplace, or I should say our world, is becoming a lot smaller and
Yes.
interconnected. So it's
Yes.
going to be a lot more competitive
Yes.
for anybody, non-native speaker or native speaker, to get to thrive in their careers. So I am going to definitely do my part to make sure that non-native English speakers have access to the information so that way they can pursue their dreams. So that's my take on what the future holds. And then as far as for me, oh my gosh, I'm so excited
Oh,
about the
please!
things
Oh,
that are
come on!
happening.
I love this. Come on, tell me, tell us.
So excited. So I'm doing a massive scale up with my academy right
Okay.
now. So the fact that I'm going to be able to hire more staff, I'll be able to hire expert staff. For
Right.
example, I'm hiring someone to help with interview prep because the interview is a key point.
Wow.
So having someone on staff to help them.
Love that.
Also helping someone with mindset because again, these are the types of things that people don't really think about with their English. If you are walking around saying, I've been feeling this way for 10 years and no matter what I do, it's not going to work. Well, then it's not going to work. So having someone to work on their mindset. But anyway,
Yes.
just turning it into a fully functional virtual academy for anyone in the world to join. I'm super excited about that.
Wow.
Also, there are other public speaking engagements that are coming my way. I'm also really excited about that. And then also my book getting
Wow.
published through a publisher. So yeah, I'm so excited about the journey that I've been on. And it started with the thought, just the thought of, okay, I'm going to start my business helping doctors.
I mean, the thought also had passion behind it. The thought also had like a real, value to it because you wanted to help people by way of helping the helper, so to speak. I love that
Yes,
because, right?
absolutely.
you put yourself in that situation or the scenario where there's a disconnect, right? There's people
Mhm.
wanting to help these other people, but they couldn't do it effectively. And then you saw that gap and you said, I can do this, I can help here. And of course, we're seeing the results now, and I see the results in you. You're proud of what you're doing with your academy, of course, and we
Thank
want to
you.
learn more. We want to find out more. Where can we connect with you, Devon? Where can we
Thank
find
you.
you? Are you on Instagram, your LinkedIn? What's your website? Where's your book coming out? We want to learn more. Let us.
Thank you. So you can primarily reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on the platform. Please feel free to send me a message and connect with me there. You can also join our waitlist. So if there's anybody in the healthcare field who wants to learn about our membership, or our enrollment is closed right now because we're scaling, but you can join our waitlist at EnglishCommunicationAcademy.com.
Right.
And also, my book will be hopefully next year, fingers crossed. It'll be published. And then also too, on LinkedIn, I do have a very popular newsletter called Frustrated to Fluent, where
Okay.
we focus on things that most people don't really talk about.
Right.
For example, I talk about how to overcome imposter syndrome,
Right.
language burnout,
Right.
how introverted speakers can thrive in a presentation. So if you're looking for those types of topics for your English communication, please subscribe to my newsletter on LinkedIn as well. It's called Frustrated to Fluent.
I love that. And of course, I invite all our audience listeners to check out Devon, check out her new, let's cheer on her on for her new book that's about to come out. Check out her website and everything that she does. If you fell in love with what Devon is doing the same way that I did, please go ahead
Oh,
and
thank you.
subscribe to her newsletter. I mean, it's great. I love what you do, Devon. And I hope
Thank
our audience
you.
and listeners feel the same. Devon, one last bit of wisdom that you would love to leave behind with us. What would it be? Take us home.
I would say two things. One, your dreams are worth it.
Yes.
And two, your accent's not the problem. Don't let
Thank
anyone ever tell you that your accent is the
I love that.
problem. It's not.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Devon, thank you for saying the unsaid. People don't really say that.
Yes.
And it's like accents. I mean, it's of course it has its place. Again, clarity, fluency is more important. Accent is never the problem because so long as we
Nope.
connect and understand, we get able to communicate. That's the true value where it comes in. Thank you for sharing that today, and thank you for sharing your energy and
Thank
your time
you.
with us today, Devon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I had a lot of fun too. And to all our audience and listeners out there, I hope you had as much fun as Devin and I did. We loved it. We love you guys. Thank you for watching the episode. We will see you on the next one. Bye bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.